Santa Claus spends much of the year manufacturing the most varied toys with the help of his helper elves, and on Christmas Eve, he journeys around the world in his flying sleigh pulled by magical reindeer. The toys are given to children who have behaved properly throughout the year, while misbehaving kids only get a chunk of coal. Although a time of joy and celebration, Christmas can also be marked by a dark beast known as the Krampus, a creature so fearsome that it is the source of nightmares for children and even adults. According to the beliefs of different peoples, Krampus is a hideous monster, half demon and half goat, who follows Santa Claus when he goes out to visit houses on Christmas Eve. Krampus's legend began in the Austrian Alps, where Christmas festivities start at the beginning of December. Within this culture, Krampus is as important as Santa Claus himself. Folklore beliefs suggest that Krampus would show up on a date known as Krampusnacht, the night of December 5th, roaming the dark streets of the villages, hauling rusty chains and looking for misbehaving children. Should Krampus smell wicked children, he would enter their homes and drag them out of bed, followed by whipping them with a wooden stick. The terrible punishments were far from over. After the beating, Krampus would throw the children into a basket and take them to hell, where they would be imprisoned for 1 year. Often, Krampus would appear next to Santa Claus. While the latter read out a list of each misdeed, the children would be huddled in a corner of the room, trembling with fear under Krampus's cruel eyes. Parents in olden times used Krampus's story to threaten their children all year round, and vowed that the terrifying creature would indeed come to their homes if the children ignored the warnings. As the legend of Krampus swept through other European countries, it soon took on new versions, but its stories always kept a macabre pattern. To this day, most Alpine towns hold festivals following the old Austrian tradition, in which a masquerade costume parade is held, allowing anyone to dress up as Krampus and wear wooden masks, typically handmade and terrifying. Notwithstanding his pagan origins, Krampus was absorbed into Christian Christmas traditions. Even though he is a controversial figure for modern times, he still has a profound influence on Christmas traditions. He represents an idea that evil people will be punished for their mistakes, and when he stands next to Santa Claus, Krampus symbolizes the duality between good and evil, two forces that, in some beliefs, rule the order of life and the universe. The icy grandfather Ded Moroz is a mythical figure connected to winter in Slavic folklore, and a key figure in Russian and some other Slavic countries' New Year and Christmas festivities. Ded Moroz is a tall old man with a long white beard, wearing a fur-lined long coat, a tall fur hat, and a walking stick. He is often joined by his granddaughter and helper Snegorochka, the Snow Maiden. She is a pretty young girl dressed in a winter outfit, helping Ded Moroz to bring gifts and spread joy to the children during the winter vacations. Her presence lends a touch of charm to the holiday celebrations. Russian tradition says that Ded Moroz resides in the far north, in a land of perpetual winter. On New Year's Eve or Christmas, he travels in a sleigh pulled by 3 white horses to hand out presents to children. Kids are urged to behave nicely and be kind all year round, so that Ded Moroz can bring them presents as a reward. Families usually invite someone to dress up as Ded Moroz and visit their homes to give presents and share the joy of the holiday. Ded Moroz is a much-loved figure in Russian and Slavic culture, epitomizing the wintry spirit and providing happiness and joy to children and families during the festive season. He exemplifies how distinct cultures can have similar figures, but with their own unique stories and characteristics. Whilst the West celebrates Santa Claus at Christmas, many in Eastern Europe look forward to the arrival of Ded Moroz and Snegorochka at New Year, uniting in celebration, hope, and joy. The name Santa Claus often suggests images of a jolly, chubby man in a red suit, distributing presents and spreading joy. But the origins of this festive celebrity are much older and firmly rooted in Christian history and tradition. The Santa Claus figure has its traces in Saint Nicholas of Myra, a saint who lived in the 4th century. He was born in the late 3rd century in Patara, Lycia, in present-day Turkey. Saint Nicholas is frequently remembered as a protector of the destitute and the downtrodden. He became Bishop of Myra and was famous for his generous acts and miracles. One of the most well-known stories about Saint Nicholas recounts how he helped 3 poor sisters who had no dowry to marry. Legend has it that Nicholas secretly threw purses of gold through the windows of the sisters' house on 3 different nights, saving them from an ill-fated destiny. This generous deed is often cited as the origin of the custom of hanging up socks or shoes to collect gifts. On account of his many charitable acts and the miracles attributed to him, Nicholas was canonized and is venerated in many Christian traditions. Besides being the patron saint of children, he is also regarded as the protector of sailors, merchants, archers, and even prisoners. The Day of St. Nicholas, December 6th, is observed in many European countries. Children are often given small gifts on this day in remembrance of the saint's generous deeds. St. Nicholas's transformation into the modern Santa Claus is a consequence of centuries of cultural evolution and the blending of traditions. St. Nicholas's veneration traveled to Northern Europe and mixed with Germanic and Nordic pagan traditions. For example, he became known as Sinterklaas in Holland. With time, and especially with the migration of Europeans to the Americas, the persona of Sinterklaas evolved into Santa Claus in English. Although his modern appearance and many of his features have been influenced by various cultures and even advertising campaigns, St. Nicholas's essence of generosity and kindness endures. St. Nicholas has transcended time and geographical boundaries. This ancient saint's legacy lives on in our modern Christmas celebrations, constantly reminding us of the spirit of generosity and the value of compassion and kindness. In an ever-changing world, St. Nicholas's long-lasting influence is a reminder of the power of virtuous deeds and shared humanness.